All right. We have on the podcast Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, 12-2 UFC fighter. Although it says 11-2, that's bullshit.
It's 12-2.
He's 12-2. You had one loss or one win taken down as a no contest for marijuana.
Yeah.
Which they should overturn now that it's legal, right?
They should, but I mean, either way, I can't say shit. He was sleeping in 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
So we have him
whatever.
on the podcast.
Yeah, 100% win.
Yeah.
2 bees in a pod.
I'm Brown.
This is Brandon, and this is the Sweeter Than Honey podcast. 2 bees in a pod.
Yeah, buddy. We want to find out what's the buzz.
Yes. So Fluffy fought his first pro fight for an amazing organization, one of the best ever.
I think I've heard of it.
What was the name of that organization?
I think it was West Coast Fighting Championship.
West Coast Fighting Championship.
That's the one.
Man, yes, we just
I've heard things.
Yeah.
I've heard they were like the best ever. Ever.
their announcer was just a little whack.
Their announcer was meh.
Yeah.
He was learning some things. But yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to have you on. The funny thing about you is you don't really care anything about the UFC. Like, you don't watch it. You couldn't tell me who's in the top 10, maybe 2, or who's in the top 10 in your division. In your division,
I don't. There's a couple of them I know, but there's
the champion.
Yeah,
you know.
champion, obviously.
Yeah.
Whitaker.
And he's trying, folks, and that's 2. And he. That's the fun thing about you. You could care less.
No, yeah,
You
just I'm here to do what I do, and you know what I mean.
You don't want
to be the best, so fuck what you're doing. Unless I got to study you, it doesn't make sense to go out of my day. You know what I mean?
And do you watch the fights on?
I've been getting a lot better recently, just because I live in the city now, and like there's really not shit to do unless I go to my property and work on it.
Oh, you're in Sacramento now?
I'm in like Antelope now. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were out in Dunnigan.
I was for a while. I was staying out in Zamora, but now I live closer, and
you're in civilization now.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Different, right?
Very different.
Yeah.
And so you were bear hunting this weekend. So you sent me a text, and I'm like, what are you up to? You know, when are we going to get you on the podcast? You're like, I'm bear hunting. I'm like, no, you're not. And, you know,
really creative excuse.
Yeah. And you sent me a video of, you know, a bear, and I'm like, okay, he really is bear hunting. So
wow,
tell us about that. How did you get into that?
Well, first of all, I got my hunting license, and I was like,
you're legal.
Okay, yeah. All right, I need to go shoot something. You know what I mean? Honestly, I just want to get like organic. The cleanest meat you can get is like this wild animal game, right? It's like the cleanest. There's no fucking bullshit in it.
Yeah.
And you know that. So I was like, I want to go hunting, and one of my buddies was like, bro, I'll take you on a hunt. And I was like, fuck yes, I'm in. And he like set it all up, and like, dude, his name's Andrew. He went fucking all out, and like, bro's carrying like this fucking big ass thing on his back, like hella miles in, and like setting up bear traps and shit in the snow, and like sending me videos of like, dude, this is gonna be so sick.
Yeah,
it was fucking wild. It was fun. I was almost shit myself a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you get a bear? Or?
No, I didn't. I was too close. I need to work on my like long range shooting.
Yeah.
So that next time.
Were you just shooting at it and just missing it?
No,
or you just didn't even.
One didn't come in. Like, so they were baiting them basically, and we were like waiting in the bushes. Like, what was it, like 25 yards away or so? And we would go in, and like it's like pitch black. I mean, there was a full moon, but you still really couldn't see shit out there. Yeah. And dude, it was fucking nerve wracking. It's very humbling out there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you don't know if you're gonna die or not.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're in their territory, you know. And like I remember an old parable said that a long time ago: if something's in the forest, the bear is going to smell it first. You know what I mean? Their smell is so good, so they might not see you, but they know you're there,
dude.
And so they might be kind of hesitant to come in your area. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they didn't get a whiff of you. I don't know what you guys were doing out there, possibly to disguise your smell or whatever. But.
No, yeah, I think that's what it was. That's why I was saying I need to work on my long range. Next thing will be farther. But dude, it was a fucking hell of an experience. Like, there was one time I fucking fell asleep. and I wake up.
fell asleep.
Bro, you're waiting there. It's so fucking peaceful. There's birds like just singing and shit. Dude, it was like a fucking melody. Just quiet. Just fell asleep out. And I wake up and I hear like a bear grunting. I'm like, my heart just starts fucking racing. I'm like, oh, what the fuck did I wake up to?
Yeah.
And you signed up for that too.
I look hella slowly at my buddy. And I see him sitting up with the fucking pistol. And I'm like, oh,
He's
shit,
like,
it's about to go down.
Yeah, wake
Wow.
up.
But apparently it was to the side. I just woke up and it sounded like it was just behind us, but it was to the left of us. And like, dude, that shit was wild. I fucking love it, and I can't wait to go again.
You fell asleep in Snow White, like with all these birds chirping around you and squirrels frolicking, and you woke up to the Revenant, where like literally a bear is coming to kill you. So, kind of tough. It's kind of a tough thing. It's a rough wake up. I get that. I can't think of a worse way to wake up except maybe a muscle cramp. That's one of my least favorites. I hate that. But
No, he's too young for that.
Yeah, right.
You don't have
Fuck
that.
no, I cramp like a motherfucker.
I was going to say you've trained. I'm sure you've got cramps. But man, what obviously it was a black bear. This was out in California, so. But it's funny the way you described it. Your buddy goes, "Hey, I got a hunt for you." Did he tell you what it was going into, or how far?
Okay,
I was going to say that would really suck if you show up with like a duck, call. You're like, "Where are we going? What are we doing?"
No,
I got my
knew
duck
what I
hat.
was getting into, but he's like, "Dude, you can trust me." I'm like, "All right, I'm down." And, bro, it was a fucking great experience.
Is this a childhood friend or?
No, I met him like a while back, and we were just talking online. Fucking cool ass dude, and I went out there and
Just hunted with him.
yeah, it's fucking fun.
That sounds amazing.
And then tell us about how you got into MMA. It doesn't sound I've known you for quite a few years, and it doesn't sound like you really like it that much.
I like it.
But it wasn't like a passion. Like you just kind of, this is cool. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't have that like burning desire to, I don't know, get into MMA really, or in the very beginning you were just like, I'm going to try it out, right? Like, how did that happen? Like, what was your first experience?
Like, I don't know, growing up, we would just get bored in the country and like,
just fight each other.
We would just fight, like, and we would like throw knees in the floor. Like, we didn't know the rules, honestly, so we would fucking like knee each other in the face and like elbow each other on the floor. That was like, it was fun. And then,
but you knew at that time, when you guys were just fooling around, you had something, right? You had that.
Well, we were trying to fuck each other up.
But you were doing most of it. Like, you would always win, right? You're like, okay, there might be something here.
There was some I won some, lost some. I mean, it's a fucking fight. You really never know what's gonna happen.
And they're your buddies too, right?
Yeah, buddy, cousins, family, like
just everybody.
We just always, I don't know, we just always fought. Like,
sounds like a fun family party.
Tussle, yeah.
Yeah, it was like there's times where we'd go to my cousin's house and like on the holidays, Christmas and shit, and like we'd lock the gate and lock the door, and then we'd put on like we'd make a little circle, like, put on like the Hulk smash gloves and just fucking fight each other. Like, dude, we like just always growing up, we fucking always fought, and like it's just been a part of my life, you know what I mean? And then when I started like doing it as a kid and shit, it was cool, you know what I mean? It's like it kept me out of trouble and shit, and just kept me like focused on something. And gave me a place to put my anger, to be honest. And then it was just like dope, learn how to control that, and you know what I mean, and just then try to evolve and be a better person.
And then how did you your first fight? What did that look like? Were you like, how did that come about? It was an amateur fight, right?
I had like smokers. I had a fuck ton of smokers.
Really?
And, like, gym fights and like, dude, if you know Marinoble,
we had Max on the show.
Fight in the gym. Like there was times like. Growing up, we'd do like in the gym, our coach would make us do like 5-on-1 or like just stupid shit.
I love Marinoble.
Like 2-on-1, like just wild shit. I don't know, it's fucking wild.
So you got in the Marinobles. That was like your first organized gym.
Well, I was training in Woodland out of someone under him, and then but like Marinoble's like who I always looked up to, and
a really good dude.
Fucking great dude.
He's the best.
He's like crazy fucking good fighter. Like, bro, I remember like one time as a kid, it was like a morning class and I went in and dude, he fucked me up and like was still giving the class, like giving a speech and like fucking like throwing me, sweeping me, like fucked me up. And I was just like, holy shit. That was like, that's your lesson on sweeps today. All right. Noted.
Wow,
they work like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's got ALS right now, right?
Yeah, it's
so we're going to put a link in this description. So if anyone's watching to donate, he's such a good guy. He helped me
he's been great.
When we got into the MMA industry. He was Max was my first main event fighter, and he helped me out, brought me in right off the bat. So super sad, but I know he's a fighter, and he's going to fight this as best as he can. But yeah, it's like Max talks about him as a father.
No, 100%.
Like, yeah, because Max's father kind of went away, left the house at 13, I believe it was, and Marinol stepped in, and he's just a good dude, but he's tough as hell, man.
He's like one of the greatest people ever. Like, oh my, like I feel so honored to be able to like have learned from him for so many years. You know what I mean? And like,
does he come out with you now, or has he ever come out with you?
He came out with me in the very beginning, but it's fucking it's rough, man. When you get to the UFC, it's like you need to just focus on like a small little group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, he has Max and me, and it's like I want him to be able to focus on Max, and like I have my team now that I've been working with for like, and things have been going great. So
why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah. I just like, honestly, my main focus is put in the work every day, work my ass off in the gym, and then just be a dad, be the best dad I can. It's like,
and how many you got? 2 kids, 3 kids?
2 kids, but I raise 4 every day. So 4 kids pretty much is what I have.
Wow.
I mean, it's fucking a blessing, and I'm just trying to show them right. And, hard work pays off. So
and then so you got your first fight, like an organized fight, because you were a highly ranked amateur fighter. I remember when we had you on our fight card, you were number 1 in the nation, I think.
No, yeah.
Where was was it out in Reno or where did you?
Yeah, my first fight was for URC Reno Combat.
Yeah, and Rick Collett.
You could like knee in the face and shit. It's fucking. That's how I actually won as a knockout for a head round, or was it kneed him in the face in like the second round?
Wait, on the ground?
No, standing.
Standing. Okay.
Clinched him, threw a knee, and put him to sleep. That was my first win.
Wow.
It was fucking a blast. It was fucking great, man. It was fun.
And then, so how many amateur fights did you have until you went pro?
I was 11-1, and then I couldn't get any more fights. And then I tried to do a 170 fight. Fucking that did not work. Like, I felt like shit the entire time. I was like falling asleep on the mat. Like, I had no energy. I was getting fucked up by little guys. I was like, dude, hell no. I'd rather be a small guy at 85. You know? But yeah,
because you weren't a small guy when you got into the sport, right?
No, dude. I started at like when I was 15. I was fighting at like heavyweight.
Yeah, you were like 2. What were you like 2?
I was like, depends. Depends on what the holiday. No, I was anywhere from like 228 to 240, about 230.
Got it.
We've gotten up to like 250 once, but I had a torn hamstring in my defense, and I was drinking way too much alcohol.
Understandable. Yeah, no, we had talked about it when Max was on the podcast, that the first fight that I remember seeing you at was, I guess, the West Coast Fighting. I think it was 4 or 5, where I announced your name, and I see this guy walking down the aisle with a belt, and then I see another guy walking down the aisle with a belt. Then I see another. There was like all these belts coming out. I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And you come out here, and I'm like, okay, he looks like a fighter. Like, we'll see what this guy can do. And I saw what you can do in the ring there, and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty impressive, and it's making sense to me now the way you're talking about it, that it's fun for you in there, because that's one of the things that I've noticed is that you don't seem to panic much in the ring. Like, you're never really in a position where you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do here. Because you've clearly been in that position with your cousins beating the crap out of you growing up. So you're just like, oh, I know, this is like a family reunion. What's the problem here? So
easy cake. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I always thought that about you, that I'm like, man, this guy just seems like you're not fazed by a lot of things in the ring. Now, has there ever been a time when you've been like hit where you're just like, whoa, okay, that kind of, I wasn't quite ready for that kind of power? Or maybe you were in a submission move where you're like, oh, great, I thought I wouldn't have got caught in this, and it just came out of nowhere, or anything like that? No?
Like, I got like, no, I really don't freak out with that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
but are you ever scared? Has it been one? Because I remember, gosh, where was it? It was a fight in, what was that in Orville? King of the Cage.
Oh yeah, I lost that one, but then,
that guy was humongous. Like that guy rolled out like looked like he was 240.
Dude, he was fucking strong as shit.
Huge.
He like picked me up like nothing. I was like,
and when you saw him, were you ever like, oh man, like this guy's big, or like you just nothing? Just
I didn't give a fuck. It was just another fight. You know what I mean? He's just another person. His body's just big as fuck.
Yeah, that guy was. What was his name?
God damn it.
You don't even.
It was JJ or something Jones,
Justin
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was.
He's fucking good.
What the weight was? He was got to be
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a middleweight fight, but I mean,
Dude, there's no way that guy. I mean, that guy looked like he was like,
but he was
two-
like doing real cuts and shit. I was
Yeah.
still like 18 years old, scrawny at one.
Yeah.
I was like walking around at what 188.
Yeah, he
always ready
fought
to
for
fight.
us. I think he fought for us once, but he came in.
It was
I'm
a
like,
banger. I remember actually.
I'm like,
Now that you
damn, this
mention
guy
that,
is
Yeah.
huge for a middleweight.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, he's fucking huge.
Huge.
but
But
no, I wasn't scared. It was like whatever. Worst case, shit happens. You know what I mean?
And then-
I'm not afraid to get fucked
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I'm gonna go take my chances. You know what I mean?
yeah. And then I remember we were looking up your rankings, right? UFC rankings, which I think is bullshit, right? Because we're looking like, I just got
I
to
don't
be.
even know what I'm ranked. To be
Yeah,
honest,
it's
so.
not. You're not the top 10, and that makes no sense.
No, not yet. I'm coming for it.
Nah, that doesn't make sense.
I'm
You
coming
won
for it,
four
though.
four in a
It's
row.
all right though. I'm coming for it.
You know, but do you
soon.
ever think that because when you say, as I've seen you on the interviews, you know, who do you want to fight next? You're like, I don't even know who's fighting. Do you
Yeah.
think there's any part of that where they're like, wow, this guy doesn't, you know, he doesn't know what's going on, or you know what I mean? Is that keeping you?
No, like so. I just trust my team so fucking much.
Yeah.
But Jim and like my coach
Yeah.
and my manager, they talk with with Mick and stuff.
Yeah.
They know exactly what the UFC has your path before you even know it.
Yeah.
Like marked out. You know
If
what I
you
mean?
win this, you go here. Yeah.
They got that shit all planned out.
Yeah.
So I'm
just
gonna
show up.
show up and fucking handle business every fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to focus on.
Because there's no way. I look at your last 4 fights. There's no way you're not top 10. You know, I mean, I'm thinking maybe 6, 7, and I know you don't care about that stuff, but we
number
do.
one's the one that matters.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what. At the end of the day, that's the only one that matters. Right now, it's like I'm not where I want to be, so I just got to put my head down and
Yeah,
work.
you want a rank guy, right? That's the next step.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It seems is that you're not afraid to take on anybody. You're willing to rise to the challenge. So they just need to find the right fight. And I wonder if some of those guys maybe are afraid to take you on because they see that maybe this is a risk not worth taking. I'm okay here at 12. You know,
I don't know.
But it's different in
Never
the UFC. You don't get like when we were with the West Coast fighting, I would try to put fights together and be like, nah, I don't know. But UFC, you really don't have that flexibility of saying no.
No, yeah, exactly.
But you're not a good, like no one wants to fight you. And I think from what I see is you're relentless. Your motor is insane. Like you go for the first round and you're literally not stopping. You're active. Second round, same thing. And then you almost like turn it up a notch the third round. And no one that I've seen that you've fought has been able to keep up with that, which is, what's your cardio like? Is it insane or does it keep getting harder or you just always had a good motor? Like when you were fighting in, you know, the King Sierras or whatever, like were you, it was your motor just far superior to everyone else or is it your training or both?
I just look, man. I work my fucking ass off every fucking day, and I train at Game Fit, and like even at the like, I just got done with jiu-jitsu, and like everyone in that room is fucking either a D1 wrestler, was a D1 wrestler, or is a black belt that competes in jiu-jitsu. Like everyone there is
beast,
like fucking animals. You know what I mean? Like I work my ass off every fucking day. I know the work I put in, so you know what I mean. Just trust it. You know what I mean? The only thing I have to like, I can count on myself. Like if I have to put like, I don't know, I show up to work every day. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and it's funny too. We were talking earlier about just sort of, you know, how you said you started doing Marinoble as well when you were in your teens, or how old were you when you started?
Like 15,
right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was 13. I started doing Goju-Ryu karate with my sister.
Can you believe that? You didn't see that coming.
I mean, come on now. Just bring out a board. I'll break it right now. I don't care. I'll do a flying side kick that'll just wow you. But no, it's one of those things that like you really just you have these amazing experienced people that you can learn from. And you were talking about how your Marinobles was basically beating the crap out of you while giving a lesson. Like you were the lesson, but also like. It was the same sort of thing where we had it was a 10th degree black belt visiting. I don't remember the guy's name, but old guy. I want to say he was about 70, 80 years old, man. I mean, he was still, it's tough to tell in the gi, you know, but you could see the guy was still doing okay. And I just simply asked him, you know, like what kind of defense would you do for like, and I said sleeper hold, and he goes, sleeper hold. I mean, because I'm stupid at this point. I don't know to say rear naked choke. My sensei corrected me. He's like, he means a rear naked choke. He's like, oh, he goes, try it on me. And I stupidly try it on him, and the next thing I know, I am looking straight up at him. You know, it's one of those things where it happens so fast, right? And these these amazing guys will impart wisdom to you. It's one of those fascinating things to me that they really enjoy it. They love teaching you how to hit harder, how to dodge this punch better. And so, like, were there guys there other than Marinobles that you were learning from like that too?
It was like, well, like fuck, back in the day, there's so many people, and I'll probably forget people. But yeah, at Marinobles, like he had a fucking great like group of black belts and shit back in the day. Like they're not around fighting and stuff anymore, but like.
Well, Max was always there.
Max was there. Yeah. They had a guy named Alex Perez that was there, and like,
was James Irvin ever there when you were a kid?
He was there. I wasn't there yet, but he was there.
Dude, that guy's a beast. Yeah.
But Marinobles had just like dogs there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He always had fucking dogs there. You know what I mean?
Uriah was there too.
Yeah. No, he always.
That's a little. It's for your phone.
Noticed, I was like, oh shit.
That's for your phone if you need it.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Oh, damn.
You charge it up.
Sick as fuck. You guys set up sick. I'm sorry. Spacing out over here.
You're good. You're good. Have fun.
New
it's like a fun. It's like a fun house.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Sick as fuck. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm fucking.
No, it's okay. No, we were just sort of talking about how you had a lot of other, amazing black belts that were there too that you were learning from. I mean, I think that's an important thing that most people don't know about is the sensei or whoever is leading the charge is not always there to lead the charge, and you got to learn from these other people that have amazing experiences. I felt bad because one of the problems with my training was we had a guy who wanted to do what they called non-traditional training. And really what it was MMA. And he was a little ahead of his time. And I didn't realize this. My dad was talking to me about it. He's like, yeah, he was really big into like boxing and that stuff. I'm like, I remember him talking about it. But yeah, this guy was basically ahead of that time. And I really think that, if we had understood what was going on, we probably would have split and kind of done a little bit of both. Because it's one of those things where karate is okay. I think as a martial arts for me, it was better as a keeping me out of trouble,
for sure,
getting me, disciplined more 100%. Than anything else. Like you were talking about that. Doesn't it make it better? Like it seems to me, it always made it easier for me to stay out of trouble because I could just go kick a board and,
for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, from practice, you feel so fucking relieved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they say, it's mind, body, spirit, right? Those three, like with martial arts, you fucking find that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you're not going to find it, someone's going to beat it out of you. You know what I mean?
Like Dave Marinoble.
Yeah. No, but
that visual is the best.
It teaches you respect. You know what I mean? I think
5-on-1 now. Fight it.
I think every kid should do it for sure. You learn so much about yourself, and like, man, just the skills you get from that, and you can take that to your everyday life.
Yeah.
And
then what I remember is your dad was a big part of your life. I remember for the West Coast. How was that? I know you were, you had to been 19, 20 when you passed, right before.
Yeah, it was like 5 years, basically 4 years, something like that.
Yeah. And then right before you got the call to the UFC, how tough was that? I mean, was that your first big loss of your life, or you don't think about that?
I've had like losses and stuff. Like one of my little cousins died before one of my fights. But like as far as like my dad, that was like one of my best friends.
Because he was young too. How old was he?
He was like 50.
Yeah, he was your biggest supporter and so excited. And
great personality on that.
Yeah, that was really sad. Fun. I was like, man, I remember I shot you a text, and that was tough. I mean, especially for you as a young man. Did you have a kid yet? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I had Raph.
Yeah, he was what, like a couple years old?
Like one. Yeah,
one. And how hard was that to overcome? Did MMA kind of help you take your mind off things, or it's just tough, right? There's nothing you can do.
Life, you know what I mean? You deal with it, and that's it. Like, I mean, I had the fight with the Contender Series, right? So I did pretty good, but I mean, that whole camp, like, it took me a while to like fucking find myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm fucking great now, and
and he's looking down, and you're so proud. Do you ever think about that, or
no, all the time? For sure.
Like after a win, he's probably like, "Yes, son."
No, fuck yeah,
yeah. He was such a good guy, and your relationship with him was hilarious. I mean,
we talked a lot of shit to each other, man. Fucking,
it was the best.
So many great memories.
Yeah. It was father son, but kind of like big brother too.
Dude,
you know?
Like for a while it was just me and him, and like, dude, we had a fucking bachelor pad from like 15 to whatever.
And you guys would fight too. I remember you guys watch you wrestle.
Dude, he used to fuck me up. Like he was actually like from 15 to 18 was one of my main training partners, and that motherfucker
really
wrestle. So like The choke I always go for the head and guillotine, or the head and arm guillotine, whatever the fuck it's called, the real name. That he showed me, and that was like that's why like I always go for it. It's like respect to him. You know what I mean?
Did he have a background?
So he was a wrestler. And
really? I
did,
didn't know that. Yeah.
He had some like Shaolin with my godfather. It was like a black belt, and showed him that. So like, but
That's
wrestling was like his fucking bread and butter.
Yeah, and what all the MMA guys we talk about, wrestling has to be. It's so much easier when wrestling's your base.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, for weight cutting, and it's
great base.
Yeah, because you have like jiu-jitsu, karate, or they're in another sport. They transition from football. I never wrestled. We didn't have a wrestling team, which was bizarre.
The year after we graduated was the first year that they had
1962. But I feel like it's so disciplined with weight cutting. Wrestlers are just badass. There's just another gear to those guys.
Yeah.
And so the transition from that to MMA UFC isn't as crazy as you get like these football guys who are freak athletes. But wrestling's a whole nother level.
Back in the day, though, I do remember. So I played like Pee Wee for like Woodland Wolves. I was a little fat kid, so I used to have to cut weight back then. I didn't wrestle and shit back then, but I didn't get into wrestling until high school.
And then then what happened in high school? It sounds like you didn't last through that, or high school.
I was already training, and it didn't make sense to me at the time, because like every time I would watch fucking like a wrestler go fight, and I was at fights, they were getting choked the fuck out. So I'm like, bro, that doesn't make sense. Why would I go do that when I can learn jiu-jitsu, defense, and like kickbox? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That made more sense to me. So I just stuck with those.
Yeah.
It is a little restrictive, wrestling comparatively to the MMA, where you're going to have a few other things that you can do and should do, to get out of the fight, to win. And, but yeah, I think we were talking about it too, that wrestling and jiu-jitsu have seemed to be the predominant, base that most people seem to work with. I talk about karate. You talk about the one that I would have never pinned, Shaolin style that your dad's learning. I mean, that's crazy. I thought that was only in the Wu-Tang Clan songs. Like, I thought those were monks that were over in like the Middle East or something that are like I mean,
Shaolin.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, what? I mean, wow.
It's like hand fighting and shit. Basically.
I was going to say, what did he show you any like Shaolin moves?
He used to like do it all the time, but like I was a little fuckhead, like always growing up. Like
no way.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I was always a little kid that like, man, that shit doesn't work. I mean, like I had to like physically get my ass whooped by it to believe it.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So like. I've always been that kid, you know what I mean, or dude.
You didn't think he was one of those, chi experts or anything like that. Like you've seen some of. I don't know if you've seen any of these videos.
Seen.
That's what I'm saying. Those guys are the worst. Where they're like talking about like, oh, they do this, and their whole like, all their green belts go, oh no, you've got this amazing power, like.
It's like those pastors that go like this and then they fall to the ground.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly like that.
I've seen like the MMA
I want to go to one of those.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I do wonder if like, you're kind of thinking that like, oh, there's Shaolin stuff, whatever, like it's, come on. It's just all like, it's like, it's like, it's fast Tai Chi, really.
Just fake, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, that's amazing. And that's what I say. I do think it's really cool, like the different fighting styles that sort of have come out. Like one of the things we were talking about was the early UFC was just, your taekwondo versus my jiu-jitsu, and let's see who's the best.
Yeah,
and
no
now,
weight class, just it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no,
it is kind of crazy to think about.
Now
like,
everyone knows fucking everything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Now it's
plugging all these holes. It's just evolving so fucking much, and it's badass to be a part of it.
It really is, and that's what I wonder too. Like, what's your favorite aspect? Do you like getting on the ground, getting dirty and wrestling, or do you like being up and punching and hitting? Like,
man, I'm just so fucking comfortable everywhere now. It's like I don't give a fuck as long as I win and get paid. I'm just gonna try to fuck you up for the 15 minutes. I have 15 minutes to like
take your soul,
release. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Release some anger and try to take your soul.
So what is your favorite way to do it though? How do you like knocking people out?
I'd rather knock people out.
Yeah.
And then they wake up and they're like, "There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, if I would have got out of that choke, I would have been fine. Now, fuck you, bitch. You're
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like the ultimate way of winning to me in my book.
Well,
but like, I'll submit someone too. I don't give a fuck. It's MMA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got respect for the whole sport. Like it's a fucking beautiful game when you see this big like when you're comfortable everywhere and like you just see transition. It's like respect. You know what I mean? This motherfucker's doing his homework.
So speaking of which, you have one of the most impressive wins in UFC history, as far as I'm concerned.
I know where this is going.
Right?
Yeah.
Rodolfo Vieira, who was I believe it was a 5-time jiu-jitsu world champion, and you submitted him. And was that the guillotine that you were talking about that your dad
So
did?
that's the one my dad showed me. Yeah.
That's
Wow,
amazing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Shaolin style is what got
No, that's it. That was like from YouTube. He used to like do hella studies and shit.
Interesting.
Well, his name, the Rodolfo Vieira, his name was like Mr. Black Belt, right? Or
I honestly didn't.
yeah, I think his name has Mr. Black Belt in it. If it's not Mr. Black Belt, so this guy, I remember watching the fight. You weren't supposed to win that. He was supposed to just submit you, and you not only won the fight, but you submitted him, which is a kind of a fu to everybody, right? Like, oh,
Bro,
this guy's Mr.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, not once have I ever seen a jiu-jitsu guy and be like, holy fuck, I'm scared.
Yeah. Have you?
If he's just gonna try to submit me and choke me, like, fuck you.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Worst case, you break something.
But how good did it feel, espally doing your dad's choke? I didn't know that.
It was good. It was good. I
was excited. I was jumping up and down.
I was gonna win. I thought I was gonna win no matter what. So, like, I don't know. It was 40-1, but he's still got to take my fucking shots. Like, in my mind, I'm always gonna win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because leading up to it, we were all watching it up in the theater, and we're like, wow, they're not giving Fluffy any chance.
No,
they were just talking about his, black belt pedigree, how good he was on the ground, and this guy was, the man. And then you go in there, and then your interview after was classic as well. You just like, I just submitted him. That's right. That's what was supposed to happen.
All right, let me just paint you a picture.
Yeah.
When I got the call for Rodolfo Vieira, I was fucking outside because I was living off grid in a trailer for like 4 years.
Yeah.
On my 2 acres in Zamora.
Yeah.
I got the call. I was outside of my trailer. It was like a little 26-foot RV, and Dave's like, "Hey, I got this guy. They want you to fight Rodolfo Vieira." All right, cool. I'll fight him. He's like, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Do you know who that is? I'm like,
I don't care.
No, I don't give a fuck. And he's like, go look him up. And I'm
like, no, I don't have internet out here.
No, I have internet, but I just hit up Jim, and I'm like, do you think I can beat him? And he said, yeah. All right then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, you got to believe in your coaches.
I don't give a fuck. I didn't know who he was. No, like I didn't find out until after I choked him out that he was like a 5.
Wow.
The way Elliot put it to me, he's basically like a Mike Tyson in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. He was Mr. Black Belt.
Shit.
Yeah.
Cool. But I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that shit. But I'm like,
maybe it's better that you did.
Are mine now, you know
what your odds? Did you ever know what your odds were to submit him? It was like 200 or something.
30-1 or 200-1 or
you should have told me that. You should be a little text.
Hey,
how the fuck am I supposed to? I didn't even know
insider info here, right?
Yeah. None of that betting shit works. I just show up and fight, man.
And then the whole marijuana thing, right? I know you two are a big fan of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think this podcast might be sponsored by something.
Could very well be. Yeah.
But how was that? Because I know. So I'll be honest with you. I'm in the CBD business.
Yeah.
And before I got in the business, I thought it was all shit, right? They're like, they was going to get high, and they just, But the more and more I studied, the more I tried the samples, the creams, the gummies.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
I was like,
Greenland
wow.
CBD.
Yeah, there's my plug.
Greenland.
Type in
CBD.
podcast and receive 50% off.
Ooh.
But it was, I'll never forget. So I have back issues, or I'm old now, and I'm just all messed up. I'm like sweating from doing a podcast the whole bit.
It's hard work, man.
Yeah, so
we're getting our steps in.
My back's all messed up. I have surgery. They give me all these pain pills.
Fuck.
I take like one, and then I don't like pain pills. It makes me feel weird.
For sure.
And then I tried, acupuncture, every chiropractor, everything, right? And I have these gummies here, and I'm like, all right, I'm just scared to do it because I have like crazy reactions. I'm always that guy that I have something, I get all the side effects. I'm that guy, right?
Especially the paranoia. I'd say that's the one that'll hit. That'll hit.
So I cut one in half of my gummies. I was in so much pain. I'm like, screw it. I take it. It was a HHC gummy, which is a different strain, but it's technically called CBD. So it's not a cannabis THC product, but it works like cannabis kind of. And I took it, and I was like, shit, I've been sitting on this stuff for like 6 months, these samples before I went live with it. And I'm like, I feel great. Like my pain is gone. I'm not trying to get high right now. I just feel good. Like my back, I can rest tonight. I can go to sleep. And it is amazing what cannabis can do, or a derivative of it. And how was that when they stripped a fight from you for smoking marijuana, which is absurd.
Insane.
But what fight did they allow it, and how hard was that to over? Because so I know how positive and how it affected me so positively, and I take a gummy and I feel great and I can recover and just to go to sleep. How is that when they take that away from you? Was it not a big deal, or
you just got to stop? I mean, there's nothing you do about it. You know what I mean? It's like, the boss says.
But when did they allow it? Like what year was it?
I fucking don't remember.
Yeah,
man.
but you were happy,
I've just
right?
been grinding forever.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you were happy, right? Like
no,
when
fuck
they say,
yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, basically, like my fucking manager just hits up USADA and like back in the day when it was like you got to stop certain amount out. Now it doesn't matter, right? But like we had a group message with the USADA and we would just text them and be like, hey, when do I got to quit smoking? And that was our meeting. We had like a meeting about when I had to quit smoking. Yeah. And it was usually like 3 weeks out. So I'm like, all right, you got to be sober for 3 weeks, whatever. Fuck it. You know what I mean? That's cake. Easy. Yeah.
But not when you're smoking every day.
No, I smoke every day, but
but it's hard to not do it for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, nah. It's easy. I just like, I don't know.
Just
the way
go on a bear
my
hunt.
mind works, I just fucking,
you just got to do it.
Jump in, whatever. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, it's easy when you're out hunting bears. You're not going to be out there sparking up, you know, but.
No, I definitely wasn't. I was fucking sober for that shit.
You were?
Fuck yeah. Nighttime I got high, obviously, but no, hell no, not. I'm going to be sober for sure. If I'm having a gun in my hand and like there's something there, I got to be sober for that. There's like a time and a place, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where you don't party and you party, and that's the time
you got to be ready to defend yourself. Otherwise, you'd be trying to pet him and stuff. You know, you're like, oh, this isn't going to work out too well. But
kitty.
He's so cute. Come here, buddy. Like just rolling around with him,
making s'mores.
Like I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm wrestling with bears out here. I'm good to go. No, but yeah, no, I was curious about that. So you did grow up sort of like you were saying you had some acres, you had some farmland, right? You guys had what kind of animals did you guys have out there?
Oh, I remember your llama.
I had like llamas and stuff, but growing up it was just chickens. We had a bunch of chickens.
No, you had a llama that like passed away and it was like a big deal, right?
He's on my side tatted.
Yeah, tell us about that.
When I was 18, that's when I started getting a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
I had a llama. His name was Banff.
That was Banff.
That's why my Instagram's I love Banff because he passed away, and I was like, that's my little respects to him. So I love that dude.
It was probably devastating, man.
Fucking sick. It was like a kid to me, basically.
Yeah.
Llamas are so cool. He was so cool, underrated.
Dude. I used to like clinch him and wrestle him, and like, dude, he was fucking sick as fuck. Like he'd come to my window at night and knock on the window for snacks.
Oh man, how long do they live usually, llamas?
They usually live like I think 15 to 20 years. Yeah. He just fucking.
So it's like a dog dying.
No, he got sick and like at 2 years old and fucking passed away.
Oh, he's 2?
Yeah. He was like he's a baby. Man. Yeah, but
I remember that affected you a lot.
It was a great fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
But that was my baby. Yeah, like I tried to halter train him and shit, but like. That fool was stubborn as hell. He would like put the brakes on and shit. He'd like, nah, bro, fuck you. So I just took it off and like would call him. He listened like a dog. So I'm like,
that's awesome.
There's no point. You know?
Just walk with him.
Come on, buddy.
That is the thing, though. They are known for being kind of like, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this kind of thing. And they might just spit in your face.
They're funny. Yeah. They're fucking. He never spit at me, thank God.
Cool.
But like when we would like have to shave his legs, he would definitely try to bite us and shave.
And what do you got now? Like, what do you have?
I just got snakes and a little bantam named El Cock, and then he's hella cool. Though. He got a little chain and shit, sponsored by my buddy Adrian Blanco. And dude, he's fucking so sick. And I got some dogs. Got 3 big ass dogs, and then
nice.
Yeah, but the little chicken, like, dude, I fucking trained him to. I'll put him outside and shit, let him like eat in his little cage, and I'll open it and be like, come on, and he'll follow me in the house and go fucking in his little kennel.
That's awesome.
Your house in Antelope?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, he's chilling.
Did you get a little property out there, or did you?
No, I'm in the fucking city. Like,
and do you still have your property out?
Yeah, I still have my property in Zamora. Okay. I'm gonna fucking eventually finish that. I just gotta get it.
Is that near is it Dunnigan?
Yeah,
right?
it's like where I'm from. It's like probably
close there.
Yeah, it's a couple miles away.
So you grew up super small town.
Super small town.
How much people in your high school? Like.
So like
300.
Originally, I'm from like I was raised my first 2 years of life basically in Esparto, and like that's where my parents met and like went to high school and shit. That's super small town. That's like the school is like the graduation class is like 40. Wow. But I went to Woodland High. I went to like the bigger school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in Dunnigan, it was like population 700, like where I'm from. And like we had the worst internet. So I didn't have internet growing up. It was like fucking dial up. And if someone would call, it would cut off your shit. So we just played outside like my whole life growing up. And,
that's
like,
good
we grew
though.
up like real kids. We grew up hella old school.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
We talk about that a lot, how, when we were kids, there was a lot more bike riding, it seemed, like there was a lot more going on these adventures, let's go find this stuff out. Let's go find these hidden, swimming holes and things like that. And I think up in your area too, I mean, there's a lot of really cool, like
going through the woods and shit. Like I was actually, one of my neighbors was just over and we were talking about back in the day, we had a fucking hill on my front yard and like I had to spread it out and I just hadn't done it yet. But we'd ride bikes down it and like we played like this game where we'd put sticks in each other's spokes and like kick each other over, run each other over. And, like there was a group of us like of kids and we would just fuck each other up with the bikes, like run each other over and shit. And it was hella fun, but that's how we had fun. So I mean,
do any of your buddies that you grew up with, are they ever go to your fights and stuff like that? Or because you had a pretty tight knit group, right? If
back in the
a small town,
we just used to fight all the time. But like, you know what I mean? It's just not really like I don't really talk to too many people. Like I keep it super small. Like now that I got kids and shit, like
that's your focus.
My only focus is now. You know what I mean? Like I had my time to fuck off. I was fucking off since I was 15. I was like fucking up, doing drugs and doing all kinds of dumb shit.
Yeah, from
like 15 to when I stopped, you know what I mean? So like
many years ago.
Right. Like I don't do shit now,
it's
but
hard
just
to remember,
smoke weed. I just smoke weed and fight now. Just keep it simple. You know what I mean?
And how's your relationship with Max Griffins? I know he's kind of a big brother to you.
Exactly, like a big brother to me.
Because I would watch.
I used to live down the street from him now. It's funny. Like if he ever needs anything, like he just got to call me and I'm there. Like that's that's my brother.
That's your family.
That's fucking my brother. Yeah.
And how was that training with him? Because he's a beast.
Bro, he's a beast. It's fucking been great. Like it's been great, and we've both just gotten better. And now we're at a point where it's just like he gets me, I get him, he gets me, whoever's sharper that day. And it's
because it didn't used to be that way, right?
Beautiful. No, fuck, I used to fuck me up. I've been like, one time he fucking cracked me, like it went black, and like I fucking was falling, and I was hella young, but he caught me like out of the ring because I fell through the ropes.
Wow.
At Mayor Nobles?
Yeah, exactly.
I know that cage.
And he had the big one, the big nose, the ring, and I fell through the ropes, and he jumped and like caught me, and like I didn't fucking go out. Dude, he's fucked me up. But like I get so many stories getting fucked up by him. But it made you tough and made me who I am. And now motherfuckers got to deal with it. You know
when you take, his power is pretty well known as far as his punching power. So I mean, when you can take that,
see what he's done on you guys' show back in the day. You know what I mean? Like up close and in person. If he hits you, like bro, he's got these go-go gadget arms that like if he hits you and he connects, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed, that's a really cool experience for, I don't think too many people get to do what I did. And that is announce MMA fights and then get to sit ringside and get to see that, I think there's only a few of us in the world. It's not the best job. So I'm not trying to say we're the top, 1%, but I'm just saying it's a really cool experience. But yeah, there were certain people that when they hit, it made different sounds. And he was one of those guys where it was a little bit more crisp of a sound than a lot of these other punches. And you could just see that when he hit people, it affected them, they were in there like, let's do this. Okay. Ooh, maybe let's not do this now.
No, 100%.
But that's what I say. Like, it makes sense that you're basically, going up against a guy like that, who's not holding back on you. I'm sure. I mean, I think he's letting you.
He fucked me up for a very long time.
So you had Mayor Noble knocking you out, Max,
everyone,
your dad,
man, everyone
your
in that gym back in the day. There was like guys, one of my buddies named Charlie, and like, dude, he went to war. Like, there was times like I put him to sleep, and like it was just like, when you're in there and he said go to fight, he's like, I want you to fucking hurt him, knock him out, and it was like, all right, yes,
was Mayor Noble?
Yeah, fuck yeah. But like when you're getting ready for a fight, there's no way to get ready for a fight but to fight. You know what I mean? And sometimes like you got to learn that at some point. You do have to figure out if you got a good chin and like if you're tough and like you're not gonna be a bitch. You know what I mean?
Find out really quick.
You got to find that out. And like he would always test the dog in you, and like he'd find out who's gonna focus on, who's not. You know what I mean? That's that's how it goes.
Who have you trained with? Probably, what would you say your toughest training partner's been? That because I know you train at Alpha Male now, right?
Yeah.
Those are some of the top fighters in the world.
Some beasts.
Other than Max, who's a guy that can give you some problems? I guess is there anyone there that
I really like? I don't really like going and sparring shit. To be honest, I just like work with a certain amount of guys from Alpha Male, but I work with Loader. And he's a motherfucker. When he's wrestling, he's a motherfucker. He's just getting better too. And it's fucking been an honor to work with him because like our game's just fucking evolving.
Yeah.
And like he's the same weight class and everything as me. So like eventually we probably will have to fight in UFC, but it is what it is. I fought my best friends in my backyard. I don't give a fuck. As long as me and him are getting paid, dope. And like, dude, he's coming. He's fucking coming. He's doing good. I know everyone's hyping Bo Nickel and shit, but dude, Ryan Loder is fucking the truth. And
is he in the UFC yet? Or
no, he's fucking I can't remember what he just signed for, but he's fighting. He actually, the funny story, he fought Edmund Shabaznian's brother the week before I fought him.
Oh wow.
And it's like dope.
Was he what organization is he with?
I couldn't even tell you. I forgot.
You don't even know.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Like
It's the not UFC.
I should probably pay attention more, but I really don't pay
You
attention.
got kids and
Like, my mind's just everywhere.
but
all the
we
time.
asked this to gosh, was it Max?
I believe so. And probably Danny a little bit, maybe.
And
but-
it was Danny, actually, Danny Castillo. We asked him, we were talking about PFL, which used to be World Series of Fighting,
Mhm.
and they're giving out the $1 million prize, right? And I want to ask you this. Would you rather, so a guy like Lance Palmer, you know who Lance Palmer is, right?
Yeah.
He's a stud over at PFL. He could have signed with the UFC, chose the PFL, driving Lamborghinis now. He's won, I believe, 2 $1 million purses.
Wow.
So up in the millions, right?
Yeah.
And Danny wanted us to ask Feely this and the fighters this. What would you rather have? A legacy in the UFC or more money and no one knows who you are? And people know who Lance is, but not as many people that like people that know the sport know him, but the masses don't know him. You know, would you rather have the money or the legacy in the UFC?
The legacy in the UFC, it's the biggest, right? Like, money. When you fucking die, you don't get to have it. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
true.
I come from I come from hardworking people, like to make it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't come from money, so like, money doesn't make happiness. It makes shit a lot easier and a lot funner, but it doesn't make you happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so
get a
you'd
lot
rather
more
have
toys.
the legacy.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I want my staple to be in the fucking world. You know, what I mean? That's what I'm doing this shit for. I want the belt, and it's like I'm gonna leave my stamp, and that's like the respect for my father because he put in so much work for me to train and shit, and I've stayed out of trouble and done all this shit for him. So like, it's like more for him. You know what I mean? Like respect for him.
And I feel like what ultimately you guys want is the money and the legacy, right? To have both would be amazing.
It'd be fucking amazing. But
there's guys, you know, Lance Palmer, literally driving Lamborghinis, you know, and he is not a well-known, I guess, name in them. I don't know. I mean, he was one of the best wrestlers of all time. He's Ohio State, 4-time All-American, but he wouldn't have made that in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So he went over to the PFL, killed it, won 2 tournaments, I believe.
Yeah.
Making millions of dollars. But we're going to have him on the podcast next week. I can't wait to ask him, like, would you rather be in the UFC and create a legacy, or where you are now? A lot of the guy, like Danny said, he's like, he'd rather take the money.
Yeah.
Because his family's set. He won't have to worry about money for his kids.
Yeah.
Well, Danny was back when they weren't paying anything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now your paychecks are pretty significant.
I'm sure he has another fucking outlook on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's like the OG of the OGs.
Because he wasn't getting paid what you're getting paid now.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at your check? Do you get direct deposit or is it like actual check?
Direct deposit.
Is it crazy just to like see it in there like your first time and be like,
bro, it was a fucking blessing to see this last.
Or did
check.
the bonus?
No, for sure. No, I didn't get a bonus, but like the bonus when I got it that one time was fucking amazing because
you got it with the submission, right?
I was in a shitty situation, but
no more trailer.
I was still in the trailer for a fucking couple years.
Yeah,
I think I bought the house like a year ago.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. I mean, tough times make like tough people. You know? I'm in that sport, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask you this one thing. I told Brandon that I did find this really interesting story about you, and I want to know.
He wouldn't tell me.
I know.
He's like, I want to tell you on air.
I kind of just want to know from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So I read somewhere that you were a 17-year-old who was challenged to fight from like a 36-year-old cop.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a sparring session, but it really wound up being more of an underground cage fight.
Cage fight, yeah. Fucking Max. I was like,
where was this at?
I was 17, and like this is when I was still kind of like it was at Auburn and Dan Lovis's gym.
Oh god!
Wow.
And I was trying to do this whole college shit, trying to make my parents happy type shit. You know what I mean? And wasn't for me. So I ended up dropping out of that shit. But no, like. Yeah, so when I showed up there, Max was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be sparring." Da da da. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. I would walk out of class, call my dad. Hey, dad, I'm gonna go do the sparring session. Do you want to go with me? And then I called my sister's in one of my classes, so I was like, hey, you want to go with me? And she's like, yeah, fuck yeah. And we drove like after school. I got my shit. We went to Auburn.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and they're like, all right, weigh in. We weigh in. We check weight, and my dad has to sign the waiver because I'm 17 years old, right? They can't get hurt, whatever. And I'm like, they start going over the rules and shit. I'm like, hold up, this is a fucking fight, dude.
This ain't
I was like, this doesn't sound like sparring. Like, do you normally have to sign this stuff?
Oh shit, whatever, fuck it, I'm already here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said yes, I'm gonna fight. It's simple as that. And
this fool's 36.
So my fucking I didn't give a fuck about that. Like, I've tried fighting people that were older in the street. Like, I don't give a fuck about age. That's just a number.
Yeah.
I was a wild little kid. But
that's amazing.
No, yes, I was like, whatever. My sister was holding mitts for me in the back, and I was warming up. And then
wait, is this like a Saturday night or like
this was like a Friday?
Like during the day or at night, or was there fans there?
Nighttime. It was like there was a couple. It was like an underground little fight. So there was some
Fight
people
Club,
there.
Yeah.
It was some like. Exactly.
Are you allowed to talk about it? I know that's normally the first rule of Fight Club is that you do not talk about it. But no, we're okay. We're okay talking about it.
But no, it was cool. It was fucking a dope experience. I ended up fighting this guy, and my dad and my sister are warming me up. I'm like, all right, awesome. you guys are in my corner. And one of my buddies was there, Jordan, and he was a fighter. You know Jordan Beaver?
Oh, yeah.
He was a fighter back in the day. So he was kind of like cornering me too. And
did you have like a walkout and the whole thing?
They didn't have the music and shit. You just like, all right, come to the cage. You walk in, and they're like, all right, you're ready.
How many fans were there? Like,
it was like a small, it was like the Apex type feeling. It was like small as fuck, little fight. And there's just everyone that was fighting, and like, it was kind of like, it wasn't that packed. So I'm in the cage, and I knocked him out in like 40 seconds or something, 50 seconds.
I did read that was basically the time that it took. But I was curious, did you know this guy going into it? Was there any kind of beef?
I literally just showed up, and I found out it was a fight, and I was like, all right, you're fighting this 36-year-old cop. And I was like, dope. And I was a little kid that was like, dude, I've gotten tickets and shit for stupid driving tickets, like texting and driving. I was like, bro, I got to take this out on him. Fuck
and honestly, like when I read the thing at first, like it sounded like you guys knew each other, and I was like, oh, I'll bet I know what happened here. There was a bit of a brush up, and it was like,
no, I wasn't from the area, so
okay.
But I've never been in trouble with cops. Like that's the beautiful thing about being in the country is like you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and they know who you are. It's
just chill. Yeah,
I'm still on my property. What are you talking about? I can do whatever I want out here.
Growing up, like I didn't like. I've had to work for everything I've had, so I didn't like fucking with other people's shit and stuff. Like, my fucking off was like shooting shit, or we'd try to blow up shit, and like we were out in the countries and shit. You know what I mean? We were just like riding dirt bikes, just fucking off, doing dumb shit, like smoking, drinking, like shit you're not supposed to be doing as a kid. But we weren't causing no trouble. We were just having fucking great times from kids. You know what I mean? That's just how I grew up, and it's like whatever.
So I'm curious. So you've hunted a bear. Is there anything that's bigger that's next? Like, are you going to be hunting an elephant or anything like that anytime soon?
I got respect for animals and shit. Like I honestly, I like animals more than I like people, to be honest.
Me too. We are 100% on that. And,
people are terrible.
No, the way I like, I'm just the way I want to do it is like, I'd rather have the cleanest, most like the best meat, you know what I mean? So like I want to be healthy, so like
well, I like that you're gonna eat it. Like there's a lot of hunters out there just do it for
take the picture.
Fun of hunting.
I don't like that. I'm not like trying to just kill shit and be like sick in the head, like you know what I mean? I'm just like, I do respect the animals.
Really, just kill people in a cage.
100%. But like I would rather eat clean meat, and the best way to do that with, man, they put so much steroids and shit and stuff nowadays.
Preservatives,
if I could be back on my property, like doing organic and shit, that would be my fucking destiny. I would just raise my own animals, kill my own shit, and just live off grid. That would be legit. But
so living in the city now, do you ever miss the country?
Oh, for sure. I'm going back. I'm still gonna fucking finish my shit. But like, there's more opportunity right now. Like, the kids are in a better school and stuff. There's more opportunity for them here.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that, and like I said, I'm just living for them. So, if I could ideally have it so I can like go out there on the weekends, just kick it. oh, that'd be fucking clutch for me. You know what I mean? Like with all my homies, just have them come over,
just get away,
and like because realistically, I have a drift car with my buddies. They call it some amigos. They're fucking a bunch of jackasses, but we're gonna fucking
the best group of friends always
are.
are.
Oh my god, we're so much fun together. You know what I mean? Like, I got my core group, and like we're building like a little drift car, and we're just awesome. Fucking send it.
And, should make a track out there,
dude. Yeah. There's like a drift track out in Williams. It's not that far. And I have a buddy who's a pro drifter, Alvin, and he's like, bro, build a car and I'll show you how to do it. I'm like,
that's dope.
So fucking, you know, life is meant to be lived. And like, the way I see it is like, I'm going to fucking live it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have a great time doing it.
Well, now you have the financial means to have some toys and enjoy it.
But like the car I got for free, like my buddy got the car for free is like and like everything's, it's going to be like a little shit car, but it's going to be so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be fucking, like, we're going to probably crash it. One of us is going to crash it. Like, realistically, like, it's only
sure your management staff's like,
they're loving it.
Don't tell your managers that.
We all know. We laugh about it all the time. We're like, we're probably going to wreck it the first time. We're probably going to put it in the wall. Like, realistically.
Probably.
So we should get a fucking cheap free car. You know what I mean? We have a bunch of LSs. My uncle's a mechanic, and like his front yard looks like a fucking, like just cars everywhere. Yeah. So we're going to build it out there, and we're just making great memories. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to die eventually. So you got to make good memories with the people around you. You know what I mean?
I love it. You're from YOLO County, and you're all about that YOLO spirit, right?
Fuck yeah. 100%.
I had to make the corniest joke possible, folks. That's what I do.
And so have you been able to take a vacation yet? Like, because I know you grew up with nothing, right?
I went to the bear hunting. That was vacation.
Have you ever, do you have any plans of going somewhere tropical, or have you ever
My wife wants to go do some shit like that, and like I'm down. I do owe it to her. I gotta
She's raising all the kids,
do another fight. Like, dude, my wife's she's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I got no
How long you been married?
Fuck yeah, you put me on the spot.
Oh,
how old's Raph? 6. He's almost 7. I think like since maybe 7 years or something.
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good run.
Some shit.
It's a really good run.
I don't know. It's been a minute, but like, it's the longest relationship I've ever been in. You know what I mean?
But you haven't gone to Hawaii or done any of that?
No, I didn't have the money to do any of that shit.
But now you do, right?
Yeah, most of the money I had was like, fuck, I was a little poor kid back then. Like when I was 18 and shit, I coached and shit, but like it was enough money just to get to the gym. And then I would stay there for the morning till nighttime, and then it was like an hour 30 drive home.
Yeah.
So you talk about coaching there. Is that something that you'd ever consider doing once, you're all done wrestling, fighting, doing all that stuff? Is that
sure? When I retire, like that's martial arts, you know what I mean? Is you learn and then you give back.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm going to build a gym out on my property, probably do a private gym and just like,
that'd be great.
Fucking give back to the kids that like deserve it. You know what I mean? Like kids with hard pass and shit. Like, there's a way to make money. You know what I mean? You just got to be smart and you got to be around the right people. And eventually I want to be able to like retire and give that back to kids.
Yep.
And that'll be in YOLO County eventually. So,
and I feel Alpha Male, they have a lot of guys that have been there, like Uriah, financial, I would say, not financial advisors, but steer you in the right direction. Is that prevalent in MMA? I know like the NBA, NFL, a lot of, especially in the NBA, they have like when you get drafted, they have a whole class what to do with your money.
Yeah.
I know that I don't think they have that in the UFC,
but
they should.
They fucking should. Yeah. Dave, my manager, has been great.
Oh, he's good with that. Yeah.
Dave has helped me out so fucking much in life. Just like that's why I love this dude.
He's good with money,
bro. He's Jewish, of course. He is. You know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking it. I wasn't gonna say it, but he was
Jewish
right.
brother. Hell yeah. No, fuck yeah.
But you need that.
He's been like, man, him and Jim have like fucking helped me so much. And
like investments and
they've
retirement.
Like when I didn't have money to go train, they would fucking would pay for it and just take me. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's the tough thing about that sport is I remember when Dave was coming up, when we were having our fights, there was a lot of guys that he took under his wing, paid for to do certain things, and then they left.
No, yeah.
That was a tough pill for him to swallow, but that's the business.
It's fucked. I wish things would have worked out different, but man,
are you with who's your management now?
Same management. Dave's my manager. Okay. He's always been a manager, and that's how it's going to stay.
But that's rare. I mean, a lot of people, especially when you're in the smaller show.
Dude, I come from the backwoods. Like, I like to keep it old school mentality. I mean, there's not a lot of people you can do handshake with. Exactly. I'm going to stay with you. But like, I'm a solid motherfucker. As long as you don't do me wrong or ever try to do me wrong, I'm going to be I'll ride or die with you.
Yeah.
That's simple as that.
But that's rare because I've seen him on the other end pour into these guys, and then when they get to the UFC, it's like,
no.
You know, I think now, which is nice, is there is a relationship with Team Alpha Male, because back in the day, it was Team Alpha Male versus everyone else, right? So you had MMA Gold, you had AKA, you had Cesar Gracie's team out in Stockton with the Diaz brothers. Now you've been able to train with Alpha Male, and it's created a more of a synergy with everybody.
Yeah. No.
You know, I never wanted that because I could
lose the show, right?
I would get, no one would fight each other. If they were all at Team Alpha Male, I was in trouble. So there was a divide there, I think.
Yeah.
That maybe we created, but we would fight each other. So there was that natural.
There was a competition, I think, that it was sort of created through that, just for lack of
rivalry,
who's going to fight who. And like,
Gosh, do you remember Jordan Bailey? Remember him?
Yeah.
Remember when he fought, I can't say that, I don't know if we're allowed to say the names, but he fought some guys at Alpha Male and like behind the gym.
Oh yeah,
you know,
dude, he's a gangster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's a savage for that shit.
He just showed up.
I think
he showed up to their gym.
I
think he got knocked out, but you know, but that was back then.
No, but still, he showed up by himself with fucking a room full of motherfuckers. He takes a gangster motherfucker with balls to do that.
Yeah,
yes.
Like,
yes.
But there was a divide there, right?
Yeah, they had their shit and they settled it. It is what it is.
But there was a divide with teams. You know, with like Dave and Uriah hated each other. Oh my God, you're right. Now.
The past is the past.
Yeah, now they know how to work together, and it's great.
Now we have the best system. I believe our system is going to take it all the way to the top. I believe we're going to get the belt here soon.
Nice.
Like, man, just like there's so many good answers getting plugged in, and there's holes in these areas. And man, like I work with Elliot, and he has his own gym in El Dorado Hills. El Dorado Hills BJJ.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, right?
And he's a so he wrestled for Davis actually with Uriah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, and then he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and dude, he's a fucking monster. Like his knowledge, he's so knowledgeable.
He used to train with Orlando Sanchez. He just passed away. Yeah, he just passed away. I think it was in December. He's a good buddy of mine. He fought for West Coast. He won. What's his
remember the fight he got kicked in the balls hella?
Yeah, yes. I remember that too.
That was
but he won the what's the big jiu-jitsu tournament? ADC? I want to say ACDC.
No, ADC.
He won the Thunderstruck tournament, I think it was. Yeah, it was the Highway to Hell.
But he was, I believe, really good friends with Elliot, and Orlando was from Los Angeles area, and he'd come up, we'd have lunch, and then he'd go up and train with Elliot. I believe they were good friends. But yeah, he said Ellie was a beast,
bro. So raw,
yeah.
So
raw. He was at Davis with Uriah.
Yeah, wrestled there with him. But like, man, my fucking wrestling and jiu-jitsu feels so much better. He's like answered so many questions for me, and like, and like fucking Jim set that up. Like, he's like, all right, I want you to work with him, and I'm like, all right, fuck yeah,
yeah.
And like, I started learning from him. I'm like, holy shit, like this man is fucking raw.
See, and I'm under the impression that that's a thing that pretty much everyone now, if you're going to be in the UFC, you have your main gym. And yes, you're going to get a lot of different perspectives and fighters there, but you're probably going to want to go to 2 or 3 other places and get that information and absorb that, new thing. Because there's always a chance you're going to see something new that you've never seen before.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, like all those motherfuckers are so good. Like Jim just sets it up so it's like you obviously need a good home gym, right?
Yes.
And then you need your good coach you trust. And
so MMA Gold's your home gym, and then you cross train with Team Alpha Male.
Pretty much whatever Jim wants me to do, I fucking do. Basically, you know what I mean? Like that's my boss. So I've been listening.
Jim
to
is very militant, and he'll tell you,
that motherfucker is like he's so organized. Like he's everything that I'm not good at. You know what I mean? So like if he says, "Hey, be here, motherfucker, be here, here," okay, I got to be there. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's worked out.
He's known me longer than than most of the people that I. You know what I mean? Like. So I'm just gonna listen to him no matter what. And like I have such a solid team of people around me. Like everyone's just hungry and wants to get it.
Yeah.
And they want to see you win. And like it's fucking gonna be great.
Yeah, man. More power to you. I mean, we've been so excited to see what you've been doing so far. I mean, it's one of those things. We get this camaraderie. Anyone who fought for us, we're always rooting for you guys. We want to see you do your best. And it's also scary, because we know you and we know that like so much rides on these fights. We were talking about like football. It's sort of similar that you really got to keep winning. You know what I mean?
No,
You
for
just
sure.
have to keep winning.
They only
And-
love you when you're winning. You know what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
And you're only going to keep getting good fights if you're winning. And if you
Yeah.
lose just one, suddenly
It's a
you're
little
going
setback.
back and you're fighting these guys that you've already beat before. What am I doing
Yeah.
this for? And you know, like I say, man, I just wish you the best because, you know, like I say, it's fun watching you. Like I said, you seem to enjoy it in there. And
No, I definitely do.
one thing I did want to ask you though too is that I was looking at like a lot of fights. It seemed like a lot of fights in a row there where there was something that would come up, an injury here, an injury there. What do you do? Like, because you talk about how that fight really is a nice outlet for your anger, your energy. What do you do when you have that built up and then it's not there? I mean, are you going to the farm beating the hell out of your chickens, or
No.
like? Because I just want to know, like,
No. Like I fight my friends. Literally. Like MMA is a fucking weird thing. Like you have to fuck up your friends to let them know that no one can ever do that for them. If they have a hole, you need to find it out now.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
You're helping your buddies out.
It's not hate. It's just
No.
if I love you and I got love for you, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
And if you can figure out how to stop that, then I have to readjust. And if I readjust, then you're going to get better. I'm going to get better.
Sounds like you and Max.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been like that for years. And exactly. It's like we fucking complement each other very well. And like,
imagine that. Imagine if, I know you guys are different weight classes, but how crazy would that be if you had to fight Max? But I think you guys would just have fun.
it'd
be like back at
the gym.
Mayor Noble's.
We'd finally get paid for all the wars we had. You know what I mean? No, but man, we've given so many people some fucking fights. Let me tell you. Like I've been dropped by him, got up, and just fucking gone after it. Like we had some fun ass fights.
Yeah.
If people have been there to see it, so like people, they know. It's fun. We have a lot of fun.
And then, did you ever feel like maybe this wasn't for you? Was there ever a point where you're like, what point where you were like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and now it's obviously established?
Yeah.
But did you ever have like?
No, for sure. As a kid, there was times where I was like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of time.
But like, fuck, when you got nothing to do and you're having fun, you're gonna keep going and doing that shit. You know what I mean? My dad was like super supportive, and like probably the only reason I was there is because he was like already putting all this money and time into it, and he was being there too. And like that was kind of our bonding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't really see him when he was working and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be gone for like forever.
Because he was working. What was he?
So he had his own business. He was a diesel mechanic, and like he was always gone. Like people were always hitting him up for work. He was good at what he did.
Yeah.
And
and then what about your mom? Was she in the picture or?
We had our issues back in the day, but like we're all past that now.
That's
like,
awesome.
We have
That's
a
cool.
Beautiful relationship. Like having your own kids will like show you some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why they were the way they were, and it is what it is. I respect the fuck out of them, and like if they ever need me to take care of them, I would.
Yeah,
it's simple
that's
as
awesome.
That. Yeah, I love the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good point. I think we're hypercritical a lot of times of the adults in our lives early on. Like you did this thing and it was such a big deal to me. And
shit
like
happens. They were young. You know what I mean? Like I look at myself in the position, like I am not perfect. Let me tell you. But you know, I'm gonna keep trying to get better. You know what I mean? As long as I do that, then and I respect you, like everything should be good. You know what I mean? Keep it simple.
And I feel like just watching you from when you were a kid fighting for us, I feel there's a maturity.
Big time.
You know, and I know you probably fought that for a while.
For a long time.
but I feel like you're a man now.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
You know, not that you weren't a man.
I don't
but
feel
you
like
were,
I am, but I feel like you are for sure. Yeah, I'm still. I got a long ways to go. But
No, definitely. I feel the same way. I used to feel like a boy, but now I definitely am a man. I know what I want in life.
just even the way you handle yourself. It reminds me of Andre Fili. Andre Fili, when we were talking about his first fight, literally had to take out his ankle bracelet. He had these big gauges in his ears, and they had to put all this tape in it and tape around his nipple, like all kinds of stuff. He was just a skinny little scrawny kid.
Yeah.
And but there was something in him. And
He's
then
a banger.
now seeing him now,
Banger.
it's just the way he handles himself. He looks like an athlete. Like you look like an athlete now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it reminds me a lot of him. And you both, you're both hyper focused on getting the belt. Yeah. That's all that matters.
And seemingly unfazed by a lot of the other distractions. So I think you two definitely have a lot in common like that.
Do you ever get to train with him at Alpha Male? Or?
I've trained with him a couple times, and he's fucking good, dude. He's like my size. I'm like, he's a perfect training partner.
He's a 45
fast as fuck, and he's like my size. No, I've trained with him a couple times, and like he's came in and like rolled with our class and showed some shit, and like mix some like
he comes up to MMA Gold or
no? We met like with Elliot. We have like a small group we call Grappler Boys, and it's like a fucking group text.
Who's in that group?
Ryan Loader. There's 2 Seans. There's 2, oh fuck man, there's 2 Ryans. There's 2 Seans. Elliot.
2 Anthonys.
Yeah, right.
Me. Fucking.
Obviously Andre.
He comes in every once in a while when we go to. We used to go to Alpha Male. Like he's came in a couple times, but it's like a small core group. But we just fucking beat the fuck out of each other all the time and grappling and like plug and play and like drill. Like I said, like the people that I work with, I feel like I have the perfect formula.
Yeah.
But God, I'm already forgetting people. I'm fucking lit as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. So like,
I told you what this was sponsored by.
Did a little preparing before,
no,
folks.
100%. I'm already forgetting people, so it's like.
But you have a group.
Danny, there's a couple of guys, and we just fucking. Just like we just do technique and fuck each other up and try to joke each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love it. But I think, I think we've definitely covered a lot of ground here, my friend. I think I really appreciate you coming on in and talking to us. Is there anything you want to talk about? Like, you know, you talk about you're eventually hoping to open up a gym, but do you have any other current like business enterprises? Anything you're doing right now, or?
Not really, man. Just fucking
fighting.
Raising kids, fighting, and that's about it. Like. I've been doing the same shit for a long time.
Those are 2 full-time jobs right there. So understandable. But much respect for you too. For it sounds like all things sound like you not only are a good dad, but you enjoy it. So keep up the good work.
We appreciate you coming on. It's been an honor to watch your journey from fighting with us, and like Tim said, when you're in the cage, I know we played a really small part in your career.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're in there with you. And
we played a big part. Let's be honest. It was all us.
That's what they're like, oh, you, I'm like, no, like we set up the fights. Like we didn't fight. Like I'm not trying to get in the cage and like kill somebody.
We
like,
didn't do the hard work. We just, we helped set it up.
But it's been fun to watch you grow as a man. And I know your dad will be proud of you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And that's so awesome about the choke. Like that makes fight way better.
No,
if it couldn't even be any better, like you took him out with your dad's joke. But we appreciate you coming on, and we want to have you back, of course. With a big belt. We want you to come in here with that belt, and we appreciate you. We're proud of you.
Thank you, guys,
and thanks for coming on.
Oh fuck yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's great to fucking see you guys again.
I know it's been a while. All right,
guys.
Thanks for watching 2 Bees in a Pod. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, and thank you for all the love and support.